Kia ora koutou, kola wanaka, malo e nei, whakalopa lahi atu, Senamana te Bhutan, warm ECA greetings. It's customary in Aotearoa New Zealand to say a few words to settle and bring the group together. So we're going to have a little bit of a pause. You may close your eyes if you want to just listen to this poem that I've written. Often these are in this is called a karakia and is a prayer in Te Reo Māori, but this one is in English. You can do the next slide. Wind moves the leaves of the trees. Birds call to each other. Earth turns, tumbles and slides. Storms sweep mountains. We share our breath. We share our histories. We share the breath of our great-grandparents and their parents' parents. We share our heartbeats. We are ancestors too. Water flows through valleys, through heavens, through creatures on the seabed. Water flows through us. We breathe in, we dance, it rains. We breathe out, water, vapour and music. Earth turns, tumbles and slides. Stars glimmer in the dark sky. We breathe in, we smile. We breathe out, warmth and rhythm. And so we've done a pretty good job of the day. It's been quite a big day, and I've been given 10 minutes, and my presentation is 18 minutes, so I'll do my best. My ancestors are English and Scottish. I was born and grew up in Te Aotearoa, Wellington, in New Zealand, on the land of the nations Te Aotearoa, Taranaki Whānui and Ngāti Toa. I volunteer my time as a member of the Wikimedia Aotearoa New Zealand Committee, and I'm very grateful to have received a scholarship to be here, so thank you, Wikimedia Foundation. I work in the arts as a designer and a producer of theatre. I have worked a lot in contemporary and Māori and Pacifica theatre and dance. I've studied Māori language. I've initiated a few Wikipedia projects, and so today I'm going to talk to you about a few of the projects that I've initiated and a few other goings on in New Zealand. So it's not everything, it's a little bit of a taste. I want to create and build editing communities, and I think that we're developing and trialling some interesting things in Aotearoa New Zealand. I'm also talking on Sunday about WANS, our committee, the Wikipedia Aotearoa New Zealand Committee. Yeah, next slide. So I'm going to give you a very brief history of Aotearoa New Zealand. This is the context. So, yeah, I want to build communities around us in New Zealand where we know our history, and there's been a bit of a gap for Africa white people like myself and migrant communities in New Zealand to know about our history, about our colonial history, especially like New Zealand. The New Zealand history curriculum has only been taught in schools from this year, as my Tamaki colleagues said earlier. So this kind of happened after a protest by some young people that New Zealand students can learn about the history of their own country. 700 to 800 years ago, migrations came to and from the Pacific islands of the Pacific Islands of Aotearoa. And before that, the region of the Pacific Ocean, one of the people came from this region. Yeah, that shows up in languages. Yesterday at the Wiktionary workshop at the library, we came across a word. I came across the word in Hadsan, fruit. Uva, and in Te Reo Māori it's hua. So yeah, it's a beautiful kind of connection in the languages across the region. Māori, the indigenous peoples of New Zealand, have an oral history which traces their people hundreds of years back to the ocean-going vehicle boats, waka. The first encounter face-to-face with European people in 1769 was with Captain Cook and his crew. Sadly, they killed 4 or 5 of the local people. It's described in Wikipedia. In 1839, a British corporation set sail with settlers to colonise New Zealand and to make money. A few years earlier, some Māori nations had a decree of nationality here for Whakaputanga, partly so they could get their flag for the international trading operations. In 1840, there was a treaty signed between indigenous nations of New Zealand and the Queen of England, Te Tiriti or Waiheke. There's quite a lot of misinformation about Te Tiriti out there, and the current government's stirring up a few colonial myths and trying to repress Māori language. So in my small little way, I use Wikipedia and Wikidata to bring various joyful and truthful stories to counter the myths. I really like the accessible and open knowledge that Wikipedia does so well. I love the weaving of people, places and events that Wikipedia does so well. I love the changeable and collaborative nature of Wikipedia. So obviously I like thinking and talking about colonial history, but I also love celebrating arts, artists and activists. After attending Wikimania in Singapore last year, I decided to set up a little regular group of drop-in space. I wanted to see if this could build a community of editors. I wanted the space to be creative, and I booked a music studio. Next slide, please. So here's Kasi Balu and I having a catch-up at my book club. Some of you will have met Kasi online or maybe in Singapore. Kasi wanted to talk, he dropped in, he wanted to talk through an application he was applying for writers residency at the university, and he was thinking if he could use Wikipedia as part of that, so we don't know if he's got the residency yet. I showed him a little zine I've made, and I've made some little things that you can get later if you want. You can look at the outcomes of this kind of like book club on the link. I've kind of like detailed what happened. Yeah, the next version of this, I want to approach the local library in my suburb. I want to build a community with the people who are interested in the same subjects as me. So I'm going to keep investigating ways to try and share and show, and I have lots of ideas at the time. Next slide. This is some of the past projects that I was involved with. So I guess my community, my people are in the arts and performing arts. I got some Wikimedia funding for performing arts Aotearoa project. And that's kind of an ongoing thing which I work on and trying to figure out how to attract other people to be part of it. The people who I write articles about and who know about the arts as well, so grateful for what I'm doing. Yeah, and the other project is the Pacifica. So the Creative New Zealand, the government arts funding organisation, run an annual awards ceremony. And that was at the heart of the Pacifica project that Sophia, who's here, and Kasi were part of. Yeah, I learned so much from researching and writing in Wikipedia. I had amazing conversations with people. My politics mean I seek out Māori and Pacifica authors for the citations. So I feel like I'm amplifying those voices. And I'm keen to kind of figure out how to support and encourage different editors into the different projects. Next slide. For the other community I'm part of, the people in New Zealand working in the anti-racism and anti-equity or Waiheke education space. There's been a strong history of non-Māori in the space since the 1960s. And I'm kind of consulting with the workshops they go to and things. I do a woman and read articles, and so I wrote an article about Litsi Near who passed recently. And she was one of, a deep thinker, an advocate. And I put that out in the community. People were so grateful, and I got a few beautiful long messages, not usable as a source, but a lovely demonstration of people's love for her. and what she was part of creating in New Zealand as a community worker. So I get quite a lot of that anecdotal information. Okay, so I'm going to change tack and go quickly through these other projects. This one I thought might be of interest about national parks. I'm sure there's many beautiful treated places in this region. Marshall, who started this project as part of the Wikimedia Aotearoa New Zealand committee, and he really likes the way that Wikipedia articles can draw information together, really like a central place. Yep, next slide. So he did some analysis of the article's traffic, and there's so many views. I don't know if you can see, but there's thousands of views over the last 12 months on these national park articles, and many of them were very poor quality. So their goal was to get the articles up to good article status. So I'll just show you the slides. This is a beautiful Ambrosia team who you can go on the link and see the work that she does. And the next slide, Joan, like this birds. So this is about Christchurch Art Gallery thing. And then next Saturday, I'm running an exhibition in Auckland Museum on women in architecture. So yeah, you can join in virtually if you want to. Kia ora. Okay, and how will we join virtually for the next Saturday? How they join virtually is basically just put your name on the project, and then there won't be like a Zoom link or anything, but you can, we'll notice